Hello, fellow wanderers, I'm Endri, and thank you for joining me as we wander through some more Sunless Sea. So, since we last met, I got a scion for this character, I've sailed the world, found a few ports, made a few echoes, and otherwise just been progressing through the Wild Wheel Court. In particular, I've gotten the adventurous over here, so we're all set to go on to progressing with this particular part of the journey. One thing to note, well, I don't have it equipped yet, we do have the Monkey Foundling. Make sure you have the Monkey Foundling in your crew before you attempt to do this next part. Just trust me on that. The other thing to note here is that in our hold, I have a Foxfire Candle and I have a Flare, so that might be useful as well. Anyway, let's head to Fountainhead Island and visit the adventurers' camp. The foliage is thick and unforgiving. Delightful adventurers helped by her faces Clayman Barnabas and a small group of worker monkeys hired for the price of her soul works to excavate the vault of the First Emperor. Let's speak to her. Oh, it's you, of course. Help me with these blasted maps, would you? The monkeys are quite clueless. She shakes her head. They claim our souls uplift them, but if you ask me, it's just a case of monkey see, monkey do. You know, they think the Zeppelin of theirs will let them create a new empire? Wait, you there. Take that out of your mouth this very second. To the vault of the First Emperor. It may look centuries old, but the entryway is relatively new. The monkeys can never leave alone, always adding bits on when their whims demand. Tribute to the Empire's first and greatest has been constructed over generations by monkeys working with stolen ideas of what an ancient tomb should be. Delightful adventurers consult papers, while her Clayman Barnabas and a small crew of variably hard-working monkeys try to force open the doors. Ah, you're here. Do pick up a crowbar. There's a deer. Bit of elbow grease should do it. Right in the count of three. Muscles, human and primate alike, strains the delightful adventurers harries everyone along. Finally, with a crack and a screech of triumph and exhaustion, the doors slide open. Inside is just blackness. There now, chop chop everybody, declares the delightful adventuress, striding into the dark with a personal glim lantern. Behind her, monkeys collapse to the ground, gasping, occasional stolen words and squeals of protest escaping into the air. Since we brought a candle, we can continue on to the vault. The delightful adventuress will not relinquish her glim lantern. You'll need foxfire candles to light your way. One crate will suffice for the entire exploration. The antechamber. The bottom of the stairs is a room with sealed stone door. In front of that stands a pointedly placed plinth holding three thin pillars and some stone discs. That was hard to say. The delightful adventuress rolls her eyes. A trial of the mind, it appears. How very adorable. It appears that our monkey friend's ancestors have absorbed more than a few souls with a passion for things of the pulp. Oh well, this should make things interesting. She slaps your shoulders. Do the honors, Capitano. There are three poles, stone discs. Oh please, the Towers of Hanoi puzzle. Little children's game has been amusing in London in recent years. The antechamber must be a more recent addition to the vault than it looks, if even the monkeys have bought into its legend. This is an easy enough challenge. A minor problem reveals itself. Well, I see you have this under control, declares the delightful adventuress, heading back upstairs. I leave it to your evidently capable hands. 32,767 moves to solve the puzzle. We're going to leave the vault. We're going to head over to the Heartsake Village. And we're going to go talk to the Lost Treasure Hunter. How goes your search? Find anything? His voice that so badly wants the answer to be no. So I brought recent news as well. You will need recent news for this. And if you have a life specimen, you could get a flare. But flares are so cheap. And if we had a Syrian Enigma, we could get a treasure map, but we're not worried about that this particular run. We are going to trade some recent news for some dynamite. The Lost Treasure Hunter scans the latest headlines. Fascinating, he mutters, and should be most absorbent if needs must. We get 3 sticks of dynamite. Awesome. We are going to return to our boat. We don't particularly care to have a raid on the monkeys. Back to Fountainhead Island. Back to the vault of the First Emperor, and back into the vault. Blow the door open with dynamite. This is the only way to move forward. There is no downside to doing this. There is more than one way to show your intelligence. Boom. Bits of rubble and clockwork fly. The stonework trembles slightly as if about to collapse, but then settles with just the occasional plink-plink of metal, a tinkle of falling shards of gears of all sizes. That was certainly one solution, declares the delightful adventuress, unplugging your ears. I think, darling, I shall be taking the rest of those. Cannot fault your thinking, but would you rather reach the center of this quaint little tomb without ourselves becoming buried in it? Would we not? Still, splendid resourcefulness, splendid top marks. Press on into the vault. A huge maze stretches out before you. The delightful adventuress produces a large ball of yarn. With all due credit to Theseus, she says, nailing one into the wall. Expect, however, we shall not have to worry about a minotaur lurking in this particular maze. Come on, such things are hardly a problem for a woman of adventure. This will take but a jiffy. She leads the way with utter confidence, even when it becomes clear she has no idea where she's going. Even when it becomes painfully obvious to all that she is merely turning left at every intersection, confident that eventually this will lead to the exit. The string runs out long before the maze does, yet somehow this does not feel like an insurmountable problem for returning. Onwards. This part of the temple looks distinctly more ancient and more carefully crafted by architects. A sense of respect and history pervades. A mosaic floor stands between you and the door. The delightful adventuress catches your arm before you can step onto it. Oh, sweetie, she sighs, pointing at the walls. Little holes run down both of them, just large enough to see the readied crossbow bolts behind them. Isn't this wonderful, she says. I have seen many, many tombs, and most just put something big and heavy in front of the door. Bless the hearts for putting all this effort into something nobody was ever supposed to see. Anyway, be a dear. I'll be outside if you need me. She heads back to check her camp. Alright, so, honesty time. Reading the inscription is impossible. Our page is low, and we would really rather not bother. We can examine the floor. 9 colored tiles stretch across this corridor. Be careful. Choosing the wrong one may lead to a wound. 3 wounds can mean death. If you don't know the correct order, you may find a safer way. May be able to find a safer way past, which can be done by reading this inscription. To read the inscription, you have to do a sub-event inside the Wild-Wheeled Court, which requires red honey. I do not have red honey. I am not going to go to the effort of getting red honey. I have done this before. It requires the use of out-of-game information. You have to go Google some information from history. I may do that in the future. At the moment, though, I believe if memory is serving me, I want to step on the yellow tile first. Yep, our increment went up by 1. We were 20, we're 21. Primary colors. Blue. Yes, okay. And that means we want to use red for our last one. Deep relief, you step off the mosaic and make a note of the correct sequence. If your mental map is correct, you are near your destination. Phew! You could die really easily that way. Oh good, the pit of venomous snakes. You see through the door, thousands of them in a pit crossable only by a thin beam, lit by inconsistent, neat light through the hole in the roof. No problem for a bucky to cross, but what about a human? The delightful adventuress is turned to go first. To her credit, she does not try to weasel her way out of it. Lantern held between her teeth, the adventurer's rapier bouncing casually on her hips, she steps confidently onto the thin beam and swiftly crosses over on foot without so much as a glance down. Your turn. Our Veils gives us a 41% chance. That should tell you how ridiculously hard this is. We'll probably fail. Oh, we actually succeeded. I'm really surprised. Failing is not the end of the world. I think I failed it last time. You can still complete the event. Every step is treacherous, and your foot almost slips several times before you half collapse, sweat streaming from every pore on the other side. Delightful adventuress seems utterly unconcerned by her own near brush with writhing death. Oh, do pay attention, darling, she sighs, shining her light on the snakes. The thousands of snakes, the thousands of venomous snakes, the thousands of dead, dried-up snakes. See, this is what happens when one decides to build himself a snake pit, only to neglect to consider how the poor things will be fed. Seen it 100 times. Well, perhaps twice, she chuckles. So we got a tale of terror. That's nice. An underground courtyard. Now the flight of steps to the center of the vault. So close and yet so far. This is obviously the oldest part of the temple, around which all else has grown over time. Ancient tapestries hang from the walls, decorated with portraits of a single ape, clothed in violet and crowned by the sun. He's the first emperor, the 100-souled founder of the Empire of Hands. His authority reaches across time. Not much to look at, is it? Declares the delightful adventuress. They say they buried the bugger with all of them, 100 of the finest souls, a hecatomb, if you would. She laughs a moment at the joke, only she and perhaps 3 others underneath would appreciate. Mark of respect by the primates, you know, to say no one else could do half as much with them. Her eyes glint. Let's do something about that. Hecka, 100, hecaton type. Hecka. I cannot speak today. Hecaton Kyries. There we go. 100-handed ones. Ah. Tree of the Emperor's first creation has been constructed over the generations. Yep, okay. A dusty bowl of red chips. It stands on a plinth in the middle of the room, its contents seemingly untouched by the monkeys who have tried to get through the door. A drop of red honey hangs in the middle, bleeding out through cracks in the salt. Red honey contains memories. Why would the chips be here? Consume the red honey chip. Its frozen memories glint in the candlelight. The memories are diluted, largely unspecific, but that is not important. What this red honey carries is something far deeper, a connection of souls across centuries, the birth of an empire in which even the lowest could be uplifted, the sparks of greatness itself passed on, magnified, never lost with the passing of flesh. This was the dream of the first emperor, one of unity and evolution, transcendence and glory. His memory was placed here so that all could see their true destiny, purpose. Instead, it is as if the emperor himself is receiving a glimpse of the empire his dream has become. His tears run uncontrollably down your cheeks. Oh, yeah. I need a few things. Memory fades, but there's something that remains. Only one who is worldly wise as the first emperor hoped his world would be to open this door. So we have a tale of terror. We have a memory of distant shore. And a couple of other things. Z stories are easy enough to get back to the west. The memory of distant shore, I think I can get in Wither. Anyway, that's what we could do here. I forgot that we actually needed those pieces. That is my mistake. So let's see if we can go get those things to give you a look at the map here. Empire of Hands actually spawned as south as possible, which is really annoying, and Palmerston is all the way over there. Cheap fuel is not easy to get, to say the least. So we are probably going to be going to, well, straight west, basically. We found the Isle of Cats. I don't remember where it is. But anyway, we're basically headed straight west. And I'm turning my light off because it would be really bad to be caught by that dreadnought. So I'm going to have to go find a memory of distant shores and a Z story. You know, it's probably safe enough to get the memory of distant shore from... Well, we might get it from a Siluan canal, but usually you get visions of the surface. Might check Wither. Oh, that's bad. Okay, we're good. Hate those dreadnoughts. They are absolutely devastating. Could end our game right here, honestly, if it catches us. We don't have a lot of terror, so we're not too worried about terror at the moment. I have to think of where we're going to find memories of a distant shore. I actually don't remember off the top of my head, and that is a little bit annoying. Alright, we're going to pass by the Fathom King's Hold. Not that there's a whole lot for us to do there. We'll at least get the port report. It's worth some echoes, at the very least. Here we are. We are going to compile a port report, and that is about it. We're not doing shore leave, to be honest. else could we get it? I don't know. Oh, we might be able to get one in Khan's Heart. Or the Iron Republic. We can try both. We could also get one from Lucy and or Phoebe if we need to. Which we might. We might do that. I'm wary of using that because there's a particular function they serve that is very important, which is primarily getting the attention of Salt and Storm. And see, we have Stone, but we need the other two. We need Storm and Salt to continue on. We'll be picking those up before we head to the Monkey Isles for the final time, but we've got quite a ways to go before that. I was kind of hoping to show off what we're going to have to do to complete the Zeppelin in this one, but that's alright. We've got a little bit more work to do. Not a big problem. We need to get some more supplies, though, which is why it's nice that we're about to reach the Melting Isles. We'll be able to get quite a bit here. We could engage Maybe's daughter. We could pick up a passenger. I don't particularly care to pick up a passenger. We're going to gather supplies, which gets us 3 more. Fantastic. We'll compile a port report, which will take away our hunger and give us 1 more supply, which is pretty nice. If you want a blue scintillac, you can take some foxfire candles and explore the woods. That's not a bad way to do things, really. Head to the Iron Republic. We might get lucky and get a Memory of Distant Shore. If not, there's a... We can stop by the Grand Geode, I guess. That might get us one. We can try it. A few ways to do it. There are a few ways to do it, so we're not too worried about that. A Z story we'll get quite easily on the way back. Once we have some news, you can get them from any of the fishing boats. And Tale of Terror we've got. We'll want to pick up a bunch of fuel and supplies. Obviously, making echoes is not our primary concern. We do have our scions, so in case something unfortunate happens, we'll be able to just keep all of our echoes and try this again. Oh, I just ran straight into the Udder Shroom. That was a bit of a mistake. Unfortunately, this quest takes a little bit of time. You have to make 5 journeys across the ocean, minimum, probably significantly more. We'll visit the village. Oh! Hey! Day of Stories. Cool. Got a Memory of Distant Shores. Gather intelligence. Which means if I had news, I could actually get a Z story a lot closer than where we're going to end up getting one. That being said, which way do I want to go? How much fuel do I have? I have quite a bit of fuel. And very little terror, so tell you what, we're just going to sail towards London to get news. We could reduce our terror fairly easily in London, and then we will head back towards the islands. Because I would like to complete this part of the quest. There are other advantages. We can... There we go. Wreck of the Miko. Go ahead and just spot that while we're here. There's a Khanai Ore Galleon. We would rather not deal with that. Oh yeah, there's the Isle of Cats right there. Which means Visage is also nearby. If we wanted to get a very easy captivating treasure, you could get a very easy captivating treasure. I think also potentially, since we have a flare on us, we could get a Syrian Enigma. Though we're not really that pushed for getting Syrian Enigmas at the moment. It doesn't really serve us a purpose, as I recall. But we'll show some things off. Not on this one. Future Captain will be showing some things off that we can do. Like with the Syrian Enigma, we can get the treasure map, which can get us Violent Ink without having to worry about red honey. But you do need a Syrian Enigma, so take your pick. Syrian Enigmas aren't always that difficult to get your hands on, though. Have a pirate ship over there, which I'm just going to leave alone because we still have a starter gun. I mean, that ship there, this one, would be an easy pickings. They can't shoot behind them, and they're not nearly as maneuverable as we are. We'd be able to do a pretty good job of taking them out. What cargo space do I have? I have enough that I could actually bring a Lotus Sink Stone. Are we close enough that we're actually really close? I guess I'll pick up a Lotus Sink Stone while we're here just to make a few more echoes. Doesn't hurt. Pop in here. We will visit the Unmakers. Lose 5 terror. Awesome. We will take a Lotus Sink Stone, and we will compile a port report, and we will continue on. Not a bad starting map as far as, like, if I got this as my first map, I wouldn't be overly offended. The sea lions being right there. Not as close as Gator's Mourn, which is really close. I'm used to actually being down where the salt lions are. I've been calling the sea lions this entire time. Salt lions. And yes, I do know that I, in fact, have a the Clayman in my inventory, and there we go. I gotta say, we're gonna get in this fight whether I want to or not, so here we go. You missed. My terror is actually not bad, so I am not going to keep my light on just to keep fuel up. And you can see my veils is high enough at this point that it's very hard for them to keep a shot on me. I could even sail further away and keep them at the edge of my engagement area. My yeah, see, they just lost me there. Mind you, they still have a shot at me because obviously we haven't disengaged combat completely. But even if they hit me once, they actually missed. I'm surprised. We've got plenty of hull. And there you go. We've won. We've seen this before. Investigate the wreckage. Rescue the pirate poet, and we get 400 echoes. Sweet. Terror's still fine, so we're just going to sail to London like this. Also clear that out. But hey, 400 echoes. That, if I didn't mention it before, and I think I did, is a Kickstarter exclusive DLC that the Kickstarter backers graciously voted to allow everyone to get about 2 years after the game released. It was actually new to me when I started playing the game again in preparation for the LP. I'm good. I'm not stopping by at Quaker's Haven. I'm not sure where we are for Time the Healer, but regardless of where it is, I don't want to deal with the potential event that could show up there, given that I do not actually have any cannibalism trait on this particular character yet. Which is weird. It's strange that cannibalism is actually a really good trait to keep on a character. Anyway, we will head in here, do a little bit of inventory management, grab some news, head to a lightship, which should be right there. See it over there. Grab a Z story, and then we will head back to the monkeys. We will pick up quite a few supplies to bring with us. It's a long journey. Very few places to actually buy supplies on the way. I do not have a contract with the Blind Bruiser because I didn't really want to deal with it coming back and forth to London for reasons. I do have a Mirror Catch box, which I am not going to use. I went to Abbott Horizon, got the events. We have nothing to declare. We will collect some messages. We will go to my lodgings, spend time with our family. Just enjoy our company, which gets us 20 less terror, which is pretty fantastic. We still have more than I would really like. We will read the morning papers because we need to do that. And we will go to the Port Speckled Admiral. We will pass on our strategic information we picked up. And submit our port reports. Oh, actually, before I do anything else, we are going to go to London itself and deliver the Sing Stone, which clears up our inventory a bit. First officer who increases mirrors and pages. Well, I don't really want to use you, but since I don't have a first officer, 6 mirrors and 3 pages is better than nothing. Anyway, let's go back to hand in our port reports just to get some more fuel to make the trip back. We didn't actually pick up that many. What do you want? You want swimming canal. It's actually not. That's actually really easy to get for basically 150. We could speak of our moves in the Great Game. We'll probably hold on to that at the moment. Anyway, what's in our hold? Anything we don't want? Nope, pretty much everything we want. So we're going to go to here. We're going to buy up to 20 fuel. And I am going to load ourselves pretty heavy with supplies. I'm going to stop by the light boat there, and then we are going to head back to the monkeys. How are we doing on time? We've got a few more minutes. I don't think we'll make it back to the Isles, unfortunately. Well, there's really no reason not to stop by the canal to pick up some more information. It's 150 echoes, basically for free. And since we can turn in the news here, we'll drop our terror a little bit. We'll keep the light on because we do have a long journey, and we are starting with a little bit of terror. And the fuel isn't a big concern, to be honest. Speak to the crew. We have a Z story. We lost 5 terror. Fantastic. Alright, we're going to head south the canal, and then we're going to head back to the monkeys. And I suppose once we hit the canal and I start heading back towards the monkeys, I'll call it a part, and I will meet you back at the monkeys to continue on our journey. To see what we can do to continue on this part of the quest. And the next captain, I think, after this one, will be our go around and do what we haven't done so far, captain. A lot of events I don't actually know all that well, so could potentially be useful. Now we are not faster than Mr. Megalops there, because we don't actually have We Are Clay equipped. The reason I don't have it equipped is I will just fill in the spot. Like if I lose 3 crew, I will fill in for the lost crew. Well, we're almost there. He's in a fog bank. I don't think he's going to see us till the fog. Oh, and of course the fog just cleared. Because of course it did. Anyway, after this, the goal will be to head back to the monkeys. I'll pick up some port reports and such on the way, just to keep our money supplies up. We have so much money, it's ridiculous. I don't even know how that first captain lived as long as they did. Well, I know the game fairly well. I know the game moderately well, I should say. I don't know it particularly well overall, but I know enough. Okay. So, oh, forgot our event person wanted to be dropped off here. A final request. Travel writer sits swiftly in his board, his briefcase hanging easily to his side. In the middle of your afternoon tea, a crowd rushes by the cafe. Gathered at the foot of a lamppost, gawking, shrieking, gasping, a woman is strung from the light. Her face sliced like Venetian blind, or just strung from the light. Heavens, a pale navigator whispers. Isn't she the explorer? Said she meant to plant a flag on the Z-bed. No one replies. You spy the travel writer in the crowd, frowning. Get 150 echoes. Consort. Cool. That's actually not that far out of our way. We will listen for surface gossip, which will get us a vision of the surface, which is nice. We'll gather our port report, and we will fulfill our commission. Alright, that will be it for this part, and I will catch you all next time. So until our paths cross again, have fun and stay safe, everyone.